Indeed. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're so glad to be back in here. My goodness, it feels like forever, and it's been like 2 weeks.
I know. Man, it's
But
feel like a month.
we were itching to get back in here. I mean, the information kind of flows at you nonstop, man.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what happened to me as just this long 2 week period was just like, whoa, like information overload.
Mm.
You got to kind of get back and go, golly, what's important enough to, I mean, of course, all of it's important, relevant, but I mean,
Yeah.
what's important enough for us to get in here and spend the precious time that we take away from family and, responsibilities for financial reasons. I mean,
We're finding a
that's
balance,
yeah, you
you
got,
know.
but my point is just when information hits you like that, and some of it very shocking these past 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like the thing we're going to talk about today,
Good and bad.
hmm what mainly we're going to get at today, just to start the convo out is is the convoy for the convo. This the freedom convoy in Canada just escalated this week. Just in the past couple of days, we've actually seen some physical things going down right there with that, you know, peaceful people for all us Americans know, that's it's good, just peaceful people that really don't show this kind of aggression about much,
Yeah.
and
It's
it's
surprising.
gotten to that point now. And
Yeah.
yeah, so we're gonna have a bunch of clips for you today. Like we set them all up. We want y'all to check these out with us, and
Yeah.
just yeah, the setup. We just
Yeah.
getting over the
Well,
setup.
this one is a crazy comparison that we're about to bring up because they tend to act a little differently when it's a certain ideology behind the protesting, and they seem to act a little bit different when it's different ideologies. So,
A little.
so we're gonna show you the first little comparison video. Get ready for this. Ready?
Wow, what is this lady doing? Trampling, trampling horses, shoveling. Stop it! Stop it!
Get him over there.
Oh my God! They just trampled this
He's
lady.
taking a knee
They just trampled that
And
for
look
lady.
what
what
they did over here.
a year and a half later
Trampled that
was.
lady.
He was taking a knee, and then a year and a half later, he gives them orders to give knees
Yeah.
and cavalry tackles. Man, I mean, can you just imagine? Just sit back and think about if that would have been going on a year and a half ago, and he wouldn't have liked what he saw with the BLM stance and the police brutality, and just didn't like those demonstrations and protests if he got out there and did some of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this split screen, straight up shows you what he was doing
Yeah.
for a protest a year and a half ago
I
and
mean, it's
what he's doing
amazing.
about this one.
It's amazing that, they're so hypocritical, and this is where I say the optics. They don't notice their own optics, which is it's good for awakening periods like we're having
Hmm.
right now. I mean, you've got the truckers sitting there peacefully protesting, not trying to hit cops, not trying to, they're trying to do what they're being told to do peacefully and in a lawful manner. And that's what's so crazy. One thing that I did actually get, and I'm going to just bring up the article that I saw, but basically, they can't really arrest them for any particular thing. So instead of taking them to
Yeah,
jail, it's like they
right.
drive them down the road about 15 miles and let them out in the middle of nowhere. So they're not even taking them to
No.
jail.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like that with everybody, but there have been reports of different people saying that, either they or someone they know that had gotten arrested never went to jail. You want to know why? Because they can't arrest you if you haven't committed an actual offense.
Yeah.
Even with this emergency. See, they're doing that as a scare tactic.
Yeah.
This is the emergency act, and you can't do this, that, or the other. I mean, we
It
can bring up what they want to do with the coffee
it's
protesters.
just all optics right now, I mean, you're seeing that they're having to switch gears. They're having to be this, they're having to step in and take these measures because they're panicking.
Yeah.
Like it's time for them to you know, put up or shut up. I mean, and it's going to see,
And
it's
who
either
was the
going to be
ones that were on the cop side just a year or so ago? I mean, just it was like cops could do no wrong. We got to back the blue no, but no matter what,
these same people out here protesting. That's who was
yeah,
backing that blue.
exactly. And what are they
That's
doing for them? Are they on the right side of the wrong? How do they go? If my job involved me taking someone's freedom away,
yeah.
I don't know if I could do that job.
Uh-uh.
I just don't. And the people that are, that's why it's like those people that are allowing themselves to do that, I don't care if it's a job or not. When you are taking someone's freedom who is peacefully protesting, which is covered under the law,
Yeah.
they made up these new laws, but it is actually covered. I understand certain free speech rules in Canada don't apply as they do with us in America,
Mhm.
but there is still a peaceful protesting that you can do. You do it within the law. There's certain things you can't say and things like that, but you can peacefully protest. It
Yeah.
has to be peaceful though. That's the whole. And who's
And
the
this
ones becoming unpeaceful?
that's right. It's them implementing this emergency act that has never been used, and I think it was created. I wish I could get the exact date when it was created, but it's been a while ago. I think it was
Like
in
in
the
the
60s.
80s. No, I think
It
it was
might
in
have
the
been
80s.
80s. Okay. I
Yeah.
went too far. But yeah,
And it had
80s.
never been enacted yet. They just passed a bill that it could be enacted.
Yeah.
It never actually was
My whole life
enacted,
it's
though.
never been enacted, and they've probably been through some issues, but this to implement it right now on such a peaceful protest. I mean, you got one guy out there that we don't know if it was a plant or not, but there was one guy out there with a swastika, and they got a picture and blew it up. So they wanted to make this, of course, their optics have to be right. We gotta have a reason to freeze their bank accounts. We gotta have a reason to knee them. We gotta have a reason to trample them with our cavalry. I mean, come on, man. But anyway, like there's so much more footage out there that is actually peaceful. And when you take that a year and a half ago and you see the footage of him kneeling at police brutality and he lets BLM burn cities
Hmm.
down, and invade government properties, taxpayer buildings that have built that, I mean, it
I mean,
just
it's just showing it's that I say hypocrisy, but this is all planned and we know it. They've planned this out to be this way. There
yeah.
is
Yeah.
this is a roadmap, and they're connecting the dots. They're going from step 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, they planned it and they didn't plan on 2016, and it's just like
Well, even here, they didn't really plan. I don't even think they planned on the truckers necessarily. I think they were
mm-mm.
just going to enact this emergency act, and this is their reasoning to enact it. But
Yeah.
at this point, with as peaceful as it's been,
Yeah.
um, they wanted it to escalate so bad.
And
They wanted it. They wanted people to start fighting back and start getting aggressive, and then they can show how aggressive they are. They're making up
yeah.
news sites are making up stories about them hitting at the police. And I keep saying, where's the video? Because we see videos of
Tons
everything.
of
If
footage.
there was, it would be blasted. Here they are
Please.
hitting them in the head. Here they are
Yeah.
doing this, which they try to, put on the January 6th. Of course, they're trying to tie everything. That's why they want to promote January 6th so much, because they're trying to tie everything. Oh, look, here's something that we can glue that to this, and we can make this thing over here. No, and it's funny,
We're on
if
to
we
ya.
have a round 2 in that, because we already got our American U.S. convoy started.
Well, look, that's what.
Ted
Yeah,
Nugent's joining it.
I wanted to say that too. Little side note, man. Not puffing out our chest or anything, but look, us Americans, we got the most freedom on the globe. All
Yeah.
right, so most of us Americans are sitting back enjoying our freedom. All right. Now we're watching these countries. We're watching Australia first. Now we're watching our neighbors. We know EU. We know across the lake, those guys are crazy. We love you, brothers in Christ, but the governments are crazy. But I'm going to tell you, America is the last stand. So what we did And what the World Economic and the elites need to know is we have sat back and watched this. We're great chess players. We see it now. The truth is getting out there. We are truth seekers. We are a truth seeking channel. And it's going to spread. It's going to spread. But us as Americans, we've seen what your plan is. So when you come here, you know it's the last stand. Us Americans and this convoy, this American convoy, is going to be epic. And we're not going to stop. Like, the government is going to have to become this military, shut down banks like Canada's trying to do. You're going to have to do that against us. And look here, the globe and the elites need to know that is what you don't want to do. We are going to be the sleeping giant that awakens and crushes you.
And you know what the difference between the Canadian and the Australian truckers who are doing this convoy and the U.S. convoy? You want to know the difference? Americans have one thing that those countries don't have, and they need to not the police officers who are going to be coerced in enforcing these.
You ain't going
There's a reason. No, there's a reason why they need to remember who, they need to remember that we are supposed to all be in this together. And America does have our right to protect ourselves, our property, our life.
Yeah. We need to walk on, and we're walking on that very softly.
Since the politicians aren't going to be marching down themselves and taking, guns out and doing all that kind of stuff, they're going to use police officers or military to try to do this.
Right.
And this is where we say our sisters and brothers in blue, our military, please remember, if you were taking away freedom from your citizens, just remember, when push comes to shove, sometimes you got to push back. And I know this
we're trying to stay away from violence at all, because it is for sure.
Because nobody wants to use it.
Yes, we want to. We're gonna be as peaceful as possible. We gotta promote peace during this.
That's why I say this is so hypocritical.
Right.
Of them acting that way towards us, calling it fringe. You can see it's not fringe. But sitting there and trying to act like we're these types of people when we were the ones actually backing that group that was being basically picked on, and they were having to take spit in their face and people trying to shove them into things and people trying to beat them down and take their weapons from them and hurt them. And we were sitting there going, arrest these people. These people are actually attacking you. They're doing this, they're doing that. And because they were not showing any force towards those people, which I always thought was kind of strange. And now you've got the tables turning, and the protesters are being peaceful, but yet they're getting kneed in the stomach and the head. They're getting stomped on by horses. Horses. Thank goodness that lady lived. But I mean, this is where I say Canadians don't have that right that we do. And this is why you're seeing so much of what you're seeing now. You wouldn't see that much in America, and it's just the truth.
It is.
But I mean, let me show you just one example. Now, I understand that they're under an emergency order and they're under the red zone, but just trying to get a cup of coffee in this peaceful protest. Just watch this.
I just want to get a coffee, okay?
Why is the camera in my face right now? Are you here partaking?
You walked
Right
up
now
to
you're
me.
in the red zone?
I'm scared. I want to go for a coffee down there. Can I go
where's
for
your
a coffee?
residence, ma'am? Still being arrested right
Do
now.
you live
in this?
No,
You're
I
not
don't live
excluded
here,
from that.
but I'm
Where do you live?
Alberta.
Time for you to leave.
I can't even go down there for
No,
coffee.
no, go grab your stuff in the red
leave.
zone right now. If you don't leave right now, you will be arrested. Do you understand me?
I can't go for a coffee.
Grab your stuff, because if we see you, we'll be patrolling all day. If we see you again, it'll be different.
Leave.
That looked like assault.
Take your camera and get out of here. Do you understand that?
Where did they have the right to do that?
They just.
doesn't need to be in our face when you're walking away. Go.
Now that depends on what the red zone.
Or are you gonna get arrested?
I was
Go
walking
now.
away.
Get out of here.
Oh my goodness. Hope you can go to sleep at night.
Oh, they can. They can. And we don't even know if they're real Canadians, guys. That's another thing floating around, is like,
Well, yeah,
Who-
there's some false flag possibilities in these things, but
and
that
UN.
that doesn't surprise me that they would react that way. They
Right.
really are thinking that way, because even if that was someone not from here, even if that was a false flag, someone that was even just down there, uh, the cops weren't.
Yeah.
The cops were the ones that reacted in the way that they reacted. And if it was a red zone, if it was a deal like that, that'd be one thing where you could say, now this area is a red zone. There, places that you can go, they're going to be over there, not in the red zone. This is the red zone over here. Explain that to them instead of sitting there getting all mad because you got a camera phone. Everybody has a camera phone there. This is kind of for safety. And that's where I say, remember who you work for.
Yeah, they know it's for safety. That's why he slapped it out of her hand when when she was walking away.
Yeah, 'cause
she
they
was
don't wanna
walking
show
away
that.
and she wanted to just show their faces, and they're shamed.
They're taking their numbers
ashamed.
off their chest.
Yeah, they know they're being watched.
Yeah.
Every single one of these little cameras right here are on them when they're up in somebody's face. So it's different this time. It is different, and it was just funny to me looking, because they got the one guy that sticks the finger in his face. Hey, what do you got that camera in my face? But they all were like different, like that's the big guy leading it. Then you got the little guy with his hands in his vest, just sitting there wagging his little tail. He just can't wait to do some authoritarian type move on one of these citizens. Man, I got the hat and the cap. Man,
no, they're such
and then you got a little short girl, right behind him, just waiting there and letting the guys talk. I don't know. I'm making fun of them, but I mean, goodness.
And there's a few other videos like that. They shut down a whole coffee shop because, I guess they weren't complying with the shutdown.
Oh, I watched we don't have a clip of this, but I don't know if you saw the Waters had interviewed a gelato shop owner in Canada. Did you see that? Oh man, it'll grip you. It'll grip you, because she's so. What she had done was, all she did was give $250 out of her own money, not out of her business's money, as is her personal $250 to fill up one of the trucker's gas tanks so he wouldn't sleep in the 30 below cold that night in his truck. So she did that, and they froze her bank account with the July. I mean, this feeds her family, this is their business, and shut it down. Anyway, the good part of that is when the news got out that happened, she's been flooded with encouragement. Love wins. I don't mean to be cliche about this, but I'm going to tell you, the Holy Spirit does reign on this earth, and it is the salt and light of it. So any darkness, any force or principality, that we're fighting against, we're going to prevail over it. So the light did come in. This lady did get her business, financed through other ways. She's still going through still going through what this is causing. No idea of how many, rabbit trails that does to you and your livelihood. But, she was affected majorly. And she's just a small business. We're not talking about corporations that are really the ones trying to run this globe, with things like the World Economic Forum, which is something we want to talk about today. Also,
of course, they're introducing the New World Order and all these, central one world banks and monies and everything. And this is kind of how they're getting started here. And we've got a few players already in office around the world. Let's start with one that we know.
We have to drive this change, each and every one of us. Forums like this one are a great way to talk about how we can best work together to fulfill our duty to serve. We cannot neglect our responsibility to the people who matter most, to the people who aren't here in Davos and never will be. Those are the people we're working for. Those are the people who must be our priority. If we do nothing, and if we operate in the mindset of business as usual, the system will break down and we will all fail. We all know that to be competitive in the modern economy, change is imperative. And the grassroots desire for change is there. It's always been. But it's on us to flip the switch. We know what needs to be done. It is well past time that we listen, learn, and finally lead. Of course, this kind of profound societal change can seem overwhelming and lead us all to wonder where even to begin.
Yes. Where to begin? Well, let's freeze their bank accounts.
Yeah, so that's just kind of getting into a flip of the switch that they want to kind of introduce. That was 2018, so I mean it was just before everything started, and this is, I believe, their slow progression to flipping that switch.
Yeah.
It's something interesting, and I love Dr. Robert Malone. He's opened our eyes with a lot of COVID information itself.
Yeah.
But
One point about Trudeau just that he said was it's time to stop listening and learning. Did you catch that at the end?
And start leading. We need to shut up.
Those short little
Talk all we
things.
needed to talk.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, it's like whatever information comes out, whether it be true or, I mean, whatever, we're not gonna do it. We need to flip this switch. We need to do what we need to do.
Yeah.
We know what y'all want to do. You've clearly given us enough, content out there to show us exactly what you guys want to do.
Right.
And
So-
Malone's one of the ones that's picking up on it right now.
Well, Malone, that's what's such a strange connection because he was talking with Tucker Carlson the other day, and one thing that him and his team they're doing a Substack where you go and it'll show you articles that he writes, which I'm going to go and look for. And hopefully have in the video link below to go look at the Substack. I'm not sure if it's ready or not. I know that they're getting it together. But this is just interesting, some of the stuff that they found out.
Cannot go through the last 2 years without being transformed and
I
becoming acutely aware of how compromised our government is. And it's not just our government. For me, I've been dragged kicking and screaming, just resisting this whole World Economic Forum thing.
Yes.
And the kind of the epiphany moment for me was when I encountered the Young Leaders Program and the videos of Klaus Schwab bragging about how he has basically infiltrated all of the Western governments.
I believe Justin Trudeau participated in that, didn't he?
Justin Trudeau, Gavin Newsom, it goes on and on. Matter of fact, so one of the things we're going to do on our Substack is we're going to try to do the diligence and map the Young Leaders Program graduates to their various positions throughout the North American government structure, Canada and the United States, because they're all over.
Every neoliberal robot with power, it seems like, came through that.
Yes.
And one of the characteristics they seem to share, if you look at Gavin Newsom and Justin Trudeau as two exemplars, the leader of New Zealand, I mean, just goes on and on and on, is they don't seem to be big thinkers.
No,
and
not at all.
They're very much party line people.
Yes.
And that was a confusion to me too, until I saw the website where the World Economic Forum lays out its policy positions. Very fascinating. It's interactive. If you click on COVID-19, it shows how that relates to global warming and everything else.
Exactly.
It's all
climate change, institutional racism, COVID. It's all a matrix.
But it is.
Oh, I know.
It is. It's all there.
Yeah.
Old Tucker.
It's good to see them chucking it up.
Yeah.
The truth.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
it is. It's truth. That's why I say it's kind of strange because Dr. Malone, I've really mainly seen him in the discussing vaccines and COVID-19,
Right.
and he's noticed this, and he's putting this stuff together. These are the people that we need to start putting this kind of stuff together.
That's real, recognizes real, man. I mean, you can tell that this guy, look, his bag was biotech vaccine, mRNA. He's the creator of. I mean, he's in the
and
science
you can see where the
world.
good guys and the bad guys are, and I'll be honest with you, that's the truth.
So when you start seeing him come to revelations with subjects that he isn't as familiar with, like politics. I mean, come on, guys. Wakening up is the thing to do nowadays, you know?
Yeah,
You
I
got to wake
know.
it on up. You got to get out of your comfort zone, get out of your bubble,
Mhm.
and put a new get some opposing views rolling around in that noggin of yours and link some things together instead of just being party line people.
Yeah, you need to start looking things up. I mean, it really didn't take me very long, literally, to just hit some words in. Um, so we've,
I learn as we do this podcast. I learn
yeah.
like that's
Me
what's
too.
going on
Me
here.
too. That's one reason why I'm glad we did this because I mean, I'm learning to do those things a lot better now.
Yeah.
And like I was discussing with you earlier, I feel like I've become more of a truth seeker now by doing this show than I ever was. I knew that the show would be good just to have us discuss what everyday people are kind of thinking
And
about
blow
politically.
smoke,
And
kind of
the
steam
more
off
you do
ourselves.
this, though, the more you do this, the more you feel like you want to learn that truth.
Right.
You start noticing things that don't seem right, or is that right? Let me go look that up.
I'll tell you, that's part of the reason we were gone for the time that we did go,
Yeah.
2.5 weeks or so, because when we got this, well, for one, you weren't feeling that great. You had a
Yeah,
little
I was kind of sick. The whole
frog
family's
or
kind of sick for a little while, but
frog
we're
or
all
two
good.
in your throat. But
Yeah.
me personally, it's like now we're really wanting to know the truth. We're really getting these stories, and we want to research them just a little bit to see if like one of these videos we got coming up for you. I wanted to make sure that it actually was from the World Economic Forum because it kind of
Yeah.
looked like it could have been clipped,
Or
in
clip
a
to
certain
say a certain
part to
thing,
look
and
like it was from the forum or something. Well, I don't
right,
want to put that crap
because
out
there's a
there.
lot of deep fakes out
We
there.
don't need to be, especially our people that are truly about the truth. We don't need to just grab something and if it goes against the opposing view, just throw it out there and be like it's truth, because that's going to give
Right.
truth a bad name, and we don't
Right.
want that. We don't want that to do that.
If that ever happens, we always go back. But I mean, we try our best to research this stuff too, guys. I mean, we're in the same boat as a lot of you are,
Mm-hmm.
where
We
you
are
don't have
average
24
Joes.
hours to devote to this stuff. But that's why I believe we try to pick out pieces of news that are newsworthy and
Right.
something that we need to look up at that time. And that's why I mean this topic here with the World Economic Forum, it's because it's playing into everybody's everyday life from
Yeah.
every corner of the globe.
Uh-huh.
Because they have, I do want to go ahead and set up this other video that we have that's Klaus Schwab, the one that actually started World Economic Forum. He started a young global leaders organization, and he discusses just a few people that are in there and what they do and why they're becoming so powerful.
Yeah, I think this is the one actually Malone was just talking about.
Yeah, well,
Was this that he saw?
yeah.
So go ahead. Yeah.
When I mention now names
Trudeau.
like Mrs. Merkel, even Vladimir Putin and so on, they all have been young global leaders of the World Economic Forum. But what we are very proud of now is the young generation, like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets. So yesterday I was at a reception for Prime Minister Trudeau.
That's them.
Yeah, that's not
I
us.
know that half of this cabinet, or even more half of this cabinet, are actually young global leaders
Half
of the
of
World
them.
Economic Forum.
And that's true in Argentina too. Wow.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's true in Argentina as well.
It's true in Argentina, and it's true in France now. I'm with the president, who is a young global leader. But
All right.
what is important?
Got them all locked down, buddy. Look, we got half of our people in these countries running this, okay? So don't worry about nothing. This reset, this thing we want to do, it's going to happen. Especially our young generation that we got coming up, like Trudeau.
Mm-hmm.
He's our dude. Trudeau's our dude. Watch him.
It's just so crazy to me how they just they brag about it. Like that's what what Malone was saying. Like it was just so amazing to hear him bragging about how they were infiltrating
I wonder how old that
governments.
video is. It had to be older than what's going on in Canada right now.
Oh
I just
yeah, oh
it
yeah.
was
And I
okay.
mean, some of the people that, and this is where I say there may be an upcoming video of a few people that I would like to blast out there a little bit that I have been seeing. Some people that are within our own government,
Yeah.
and some people that are just what they're promoting within the World Economic Forum in and of itself. It you know. We have, the video where they're just talking about what the future will look like and everything, and what it's based on, which we'll get to in a minute. But it's just, this is the part where who elected the World Economic Forum to run the world?
Right.
So, somehow they've elected themselves, and they just believe, and it's one of those like, if I believe it to be true and I tap my heels 3 times and it's gonna work.
Yeah. I wonder what the connection with the Federal Reserve is with the World Economic Forum. Because that's a subject I'm not really...
you got the banking families themselves, which are still in power.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, you had Woodrow Wilson that introduced the Federal Reserve.
That's some of the way smarter, if you're listening, I know you guys are way smarter. I probably got a good chance, being smarter than this guy here, So, could you let me know something about the Federal Reserve?
Yeah,
and
the
we'll
World
try
to look it up ourselves.
Yeah. Maybe.
This is just the parts where I start noticing, like you said, the connections between COVID-19 and climate change. I mean, those are the kind of people that are involved with that. Some of the people that we're going to be playing on this video that was just tweeted out by, World Economic Forum as a look into the future. I think it'd probably be a good time to go ahead and bring that one up.
Sure.
Three futures share their visions on how technology can change the world. Number one, our devices will know when we need them.
Realistically, have 15 smart speakers everywhere we go. And so one of our big research findings is that we're going to be moving to what we call ambient experiences, which is shorthand for a sort of digital Downton Abbey, where we don't ask Echo, what's the weather, or Google, what's the weather? We just say, what's the weather? And the right agent jumps up at the right time to give the right answer.
Machines will perform all the physical and repetitive mental tasks, leaving humans free to take on the job in which we will always excel, those that require an understanding of what it means to be human.
We're getting past the last 10,000 years where we've used humans as robots, by and large, engaging only a tiny fraction of human abilities and forcing people into repetitive, tedious, dead-end work for the most part. So the age of human robots is over, and we have to figure out a new age. That means dramatic changes to the structure of our economy and our society.
Rewriting the code of life, gene editing technology will allow the redesign of whole organisms. This could enhance every aspect of our existence, from human health to materials, fashion, and zero-waste economy.
We're talking about improving biology and redesigning organisms for beneficial purposes. It's going to allow us to not just edit genomes, but also, and importantly, write a new code for life. We'll have right-level permissions. We already started to see some of that this year. COVID-19 vaccines, they make use of engineered code in the form of messenger RNA.
Diminished reality. Technology will cut out unwanted sights
On the
and sounds.
horizon are diminished reality glasses that look very much like what I'm wearing. That would allow you to remove things from your point of view, from your view, whether that's garbage or other people.
Noise canceling windows could help keep things quiet, transforming our experience of city life. How do you imagine the world will have changed 20 years from now? Look at that. They're trying to say that they're going to genetically enhance a heart. They want to do this in all different organs and things, where they're just going to write in this genetic code, and they're just... So that lady that spoke at the very end, y'all, it just took me a quick Google search of her name right there on her Twitter feed. I'm telling you, it's not hard to see some of these things. And I'm sitting there just like, like mouth dropped open, like, are you seriously saying this? And you're saying it out loud, and you're promoting it as something that you want people to talk about and
Yeah, I get, you know, I see their appeal that they have to certain sects of our society and population nowadays. I see that, okay, robots are good for jobs, that are repetitive to humans. I get that, I get, and I don't want it to start replacing so much that it doesn't give teenagers jobs, unskilled people that really we're just going to have unskilled people that need to do those kind of jobs. It would be great and it would fulfill them to do
Yeah.
that. But I am on the side of finding new technologies that make jobs like that one guy was saying with the glasses. He was saying, that dead end jobs. I want to tell you though, it's not their definition to make what a dead end job is, because working is good, and God created working. Working is godly. Okay,
Gives you a
it
sense of
feels
purpose.
good. Yes, it gives you a sense of purpose, exactly. And what God was doing was creating and work, and I mean, it gives you us a sense of purpose.
Mhm.
And to get I can to get back to my point, I understand why they want to make robots to do dead end jobs, but why do you want to enhance us as humans?
Yeah.
Like, we don't need enhancement. Yeah, we can enhance the material things of this world that we can create and can control. Not really create. You can't create one thing. We can't create it.
Right.
It's here. It's iron. It's raw materials that were left, that were created by God, that we can use our, great minds to figure out how to use them in our favor. We can't create it though. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's a little
And
side point.
the crazy thing about what they're all wanting to do is basically eliminate the reason that we should be in existence to work. I mean, it's their same. I don't have it posted here, but I know everyone's seen it where, you will not own anything and you will be happy. That's from the World
Yeah.
Economic Forum. I mean, they literally want us to sit there and just become just zombies for the state, for whatever that
Yeah,
they're
or
wanting, and then they're
worshipers,
going to take
of the
all that
state.
other stuff out so that you only have room in your brain to do that kind of thing that they're wanting to do. And this is a way to brainwash you into saying, oh, well, if you have all these things that move and do for you, and you can take these things out of your sight, well, what does it mean that people walking down the street, like, this is where the
I don't like
metaverse and
that
things like
person.
that,
Bloop, you're deleted.
that's why
You're
I say
done.
it's all working together. I want to actually go back and look at Glenn Beck actually interviewed someone that had been within the metaverse. It's actually what Facebook started, but it's still a virtual reality
Yeah.
world, and how it's actually getting to be like real life, and it's not just like a
So
video game.
Yeah, that gets to a point I want to make. Just imagine that they got their wish, okay? That we created this whole utopia of not having to work for a thing. We don't own anything, but we're still happy. Just imagine that happened to you. Now, what is your mind going to do? What is it going to do? What's it going to think about? What's always going
become
to
numb.
what's going to consume it? What are you going to worship? What are you going to worship? Like, are we going to want to love? Are we going to where's
Are
it
we
going
gonna
to
have real
go?
relationships? Like, that's the thing too. I mean, how are you
Yeah.
going to? Because even if it's something that you put on and you take off, if you're using it over half your day, you're gonna really only be like, when you get off, your brain's gonna just be like, you're just
Yeah.
gonna be like
There's no
this. Like, there's no
telling.
way not to.
There's no telling where we will go in that state.
And I mean, this is all part of the Great Reset.
But there will
And
be a few that are not connected because they're gonna own everything, while
they're
you
gonna be the
don't own
controllers,
anything.
and we're gonna be the controlees.
Right? They're gonna think we're gonna, as masses, be happy, but they know they can't control like a 6 billion mass. They need to get it down to about a
Population. They need
1
to get the
billion or
population
so.
down.
Can't control 6 billion.
Yeah.
Y'all
I know,
gotta get happy about it though. For real, we can. I'm sorry, Kim knows it, man. This ain't gonna be a doom and gloom talk thing. Like, yeah, we're gonna talk about the doom and gloom, but we live our life. Thankfully, I live my life for Jesus Christ, and I have a purpose, and I love my neighbor, and I will give them the right cheek when they slap it, because I don't give a crap about that. I give a crap about y'all. I love y'all to death, but I mean, Jesus is my savior. I'm not gonna drown myself in fear. I know I was not given that spirit. That spirit's coming from somewhere. I was given the spirit of power, sound mind. You know how it goes. We'll say 2 Timothy 1:7. Y'all can finish it, but I mean.
Well, I mean, and you're speaking of, we need to live for the Lord now. We need to look for that. And even as
I'm fearless because I live for Him.
To be honest with you, even as atheists, be looking and be searching, because that's how you're going to find what you need to find.
Yeah.
And putting yourself in a good place. I even feel like some people that I know of, I don't know, but certain people that have been atheists, but been asking those right questions, and these are the people that I think are people that can, because they've allowed themselves to have their minds alteredly, just changing an opinion.
Yes,
Sometimes
and
just opening up your mind to other possibilities. Sometimes it allows you to actually understand what you're supposed to understand, and then just acknowledge it. That's why
I can live with atheists. Can
is
they
like-
live
but
with
the-
us though? That's the thing. Christians can live with atheists right now until he returns. We're not gonna make y'all vanish. I mean, that our God said He's gonna do that when it comes to time to say, hey, you want to live with us forever? You're gonna have to think this way. You just can't be thinking wise of your own self. You cannot be wise in your own mind like we are.
And sometimes people are
thinking we can-
legitimately just searching.
Yes.
They're just searching. They haven't found the right answer yet, and they don't want to say, yes, I am. They're not there yet. And those are the people
And
that
God
pray
knows,
for them.
only God knows what's going to happen with that when that day comes. I mean, I'm not trying to pass judgment on that.
No.
My whole point was to say we're fearless. We are Christians, and we love the truth, and when it gets out, that's what's going to save us as a country. That's what's going to save us as a people, man. Just being truthful and loving the truth, seeking for the truth, and finding a way to peacefully bring kingdom to this earth. And that's how we're going to do it.
Yes. So I say,
His kingdom. That's what I want.
45 minutes here, so.
Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's roll some credits.
All right, hold on.
It's
though.
it's a short credit list. It's Steve
I gotta
and
leave
Kim.
you with. I gotta leave you with an encouraging look at a place that's been protesting over a year. Was one of the first ones to just hardcore. It went from weekends to every single day for the last year or so. France. We've got policemen turning around, retreating. Those are the people back there where they would have been going this way. They would have been going back in the back. But they decided to turn around and walk with
Marching
the protesters.
with them. As long as them protesters stay peaceful, man, they got a team of police with them.
Yeah.
Look at that.
those
The
are the
French
people I
police,
can
and they
support,
don't
man.
have raid gear on.
No, look, they're
I mean, they
down.
got their shields and stuff. They don't. Well, there's a. No, that's not a shield.
No, there's the sign. There's the people walking that way.
You can see their faces, man.
Yes.
They're not all covered up like Canada's doing, man.
People are starting to really, really wake up to that, and these are people that I do consider patriots.
Yeah.
That even if they didn't realize it before, they thought that they were doing the right thing. They realized what they were doing was not right.
Yeah. That's how I would like to think about it. I would love to think that they just got some orders in to go stop this, and then they saw the masses, they heard the masses, they felt the passion and the peacefulness from the masses, and they turned around and they walked with them, man. I think God did a movement there, man.
Yes. Walls are starting to break down there.
If the story's different, I'd love to hear somebody, correct us on this story, but looks to me like they've got solidarity with their law enforcement.
Yeah, and the law enforcement is starting to wake up. That's just, I had to end with something positive. I really did.
Yeah, man.
Stick around this long, at least get a palate cleanser before you leave.
That's right. There is enough negativity to go around, and we're going to talk about it, but then we going to let y'all know it ain't over till the fat lady sings.
The fat lady sings.
That's what my mama always said.
So
and then she'd start singing and tell me, it's over. Mama wasn't fat. I'm just kidding. I love you, Mama.
She would be like, psh. No,
yeah.
She'd be like, bam. All right. Well, thanks for making it this long into this, guys. It was a good conversation.
Yeah, man.
And so you saw all the places to like, share, subscribe, promote us to other people. Hey, shout out. I'm trying to shout out other people.
Mm-hmm.
This
Me
is
too.
from another podcast. Someone that I like to support. She handled herself very professionally. This is an inside joke, and I'm not going to explain it on air. But she handled herself
You can
very
give her name
professionally.
out, right?
Sydney Watson.
Yeah, you
She
know
was
it.
on You Are Here. If you know, I mean, if you've been in the interwebs, you know the Jack Murphy debacle just before Christmas. I'm not going to explain it any more than that. But this is in support of her.
That's
and
your
so,
homework. Research
I
homework.
say promote. I know they're big time and we're small time, but we can all promote each other.
Hey, I don't mind being the little guy.
No.
I don't care.
Everybody has to take their knocks, man.
That's right.
Everybody got to work from somewhere and go up.
God gave me a seed to throw out there, and we throwing it out there.
Yes. Well, expect hopefully a really cool video coming up real soon. We're going to be working on explaining a promise from God.
That's right.
And we're going to be
and
claiming
claiming
why
that promise.
It is still a part of our Christian heritage, and we will be taking this back. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. So be on the lookout for that, and we'll see y'all next week.
All right.
Bye. Hi, guys, and thanks for watching. If you liked our video and would like to see more of these videos or podcasts, please click the link below to view our video channel on YouTube.
That's right. Or better yet, just stay in the conversation. Click this video right here, and you'll zoom into it.
Bye, guys.